The Warm-Up, presented by your local North Texas GEICO agents. We have an action-packed week of high school basketball, as it's getting close to crunch time for teams with playoff aspirations. Let's get you warmed up for another week of hoops action. We're going to talk a little realignment and some notable football signings. But before we do that, we have some great rematches on the hoop schedule. And the best one on Friday might be out in 9-6A. Allen is undefeated in district play, with their tightest game being against Prosper. The two Eagles meet again after Allen pulled away by 15 earlier in the year. Manny Obaseki is the leader of the 6th-ranked Allen Eagles, who can go 8 or 9 players deep at any given game. Prosper may have lost to Allen a couple of weeks ago, but Mondo Battle was hard to contain and could break out this Friday. Unfortunately for Prosper, this game will be in Allen with a district title on the line. 5-6A, it's going to come down to Denton Geyer and Byron Nelson. This is also a rematch of a couple of weeks ago when the Wildcats took down Nelson by 13. Butler recruit Jacoby Coles had 17 points as Geyer outplayed Nelson. This is probably the last chance for a team to knock off the 19th-ranked Wildcats until postseason. And finally, nobody in District 4-6A has been able to shake Arlington Lamar. They held North Crawley to just 34 points in a win earlier this year. Vikings will take on Arlington Bowie, who only lost by 4 points on the road in their last meeting. The Volunteers have taken a lot of close losses this year, so they could use a big win here. This week on Wingstop Inside High School Sports, we will take a look into the latest UIL realignment and hear from some athletes who signed on the dotted line Wednesday, including a couple of Lancaster football players who signed with the national champion LSU Tigers. One of those players is running back Trey Bradford. The 4-star recruit led the Tigers in running with 1,563 yards and 23 touchdowns. He's LSU's only running back for the 2020 recruiting class. We will be highlighting 12 games this week on Inside High School Sports. Let's take a look at who might have a chance of earning an MVP bobblehead out of those 12 games. South Grand Prairie would love to get revenge on rival Grand Prairie, and to do that, Christian Turner will need a big game. Turner recently scored 38 points in a game against Waxahachie and will be looking for a higher point total against the Gophers. Geyer's Jacoby Coles could be in line for a bobblehead. The Wildcats have been working over their opponents of late, and Coles is a double-double machine. Look for Butler recruit to play his role against Byron Nelson this Friday. Allen's leader Manny Obaseki could be in the running for that MVP as well. Obaseki can score in a variety of ways, and a win over Prosper will give Allen the title. Let's take a look and see if anything has changed in this week's rankings. Duncanville at 22-2 is not moving from that top spot, but Richardson awaits in a couple of weeks. Lancaster isn't joking around at 25-2 and could cruise until regionals. St. Mark and John Paul II still take 3 and 4 spots, as they are the best private school teams around. Allen takes the 5 spot with a huge game with Prosper coming up. Duncanville girls are number 1 as well, with a record of 29-3. DeSoto got through another week of 7-6A ball without a loss and are at 2. South Grand Prairie still at 3, with Argyle coming in at 4. Arlington Martin's girls are now 30-4 and take the number 5 spot. Now it's time for our extra point. We touched earlier on district realignment in DFW. Well, there are 2 huge district changes that got some huge social media wind. One being that there's a new district of doom with the juggernauts of Duncanville, DeSoto, and Cedar Hill all in the district. And the other, Frisco Lone Star and Denton Ryan will be taking a rematch of their state semifinal matchup, but this time in district play. Patrick Mahomes might not be directly from DFW, but this is big news nonetheless, and we've had him on the show. In his third year in the NFL and only 24 years old, he became the youngest Super Bowl MVP and the first ever quarterback from a Texas college to win a Super Bowl. That's all we have for this week's episode. To stay up to date with all things inside high school sports, follow our social accounts. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. That'll get you ready for the highlight of the sports weekend. Wingstop Inside High School Sports at 6:30 p.m. on NBC5, hosted by Paul Jones. Thank you for watching The Warmup, presented by your local North Texas GEICO agents. To find the office nearest you, go to geico.com/DFW. I'm Ashley Bullington, and I hope you've gotten warmed up for all the big-time basketball action.